Can I talk about France real quick? A quick update on France. Very mini Marketing Monday here, but I really wanted to talk about what the hell is going on in France. As you may know from our last video, this guy, Macron, did an amazing, crazy, wild gambit to dissolve the parliament and call a new election out of the blue while the tides were turning against him. And we wanted to know how it turned out because it looked like his chief rival, the right-wing Le Pen, was going to make a big surge. Well, at least one person voted for Macron himself. And it turns out, in a surprise turn of events, Le Pen came in third. Macron did better than expected in second. And the left-wing New Popular Front came in first. Okay, this is the new breakdown. However, even though there's a lot of people celebrating over this, I want to give a little bit of a deeper look into what actually happened and what I think is going to happen in France. But let me explain a couple things. Let me explain how French Parliament works. This is French Parliament. It's a big room with a lot of seats in it. Can you guys count how many seats there are? Please take your time. Good job, it's 577. Why does that matter? Because there's 577 constituencies, these little like counties or whatever you want to call them in France, okay? This is where people vote, and each one elects a representative. But here's how the elections work. They have a two-part system that's very interesting. Let's say we pick one of these random spots like this in France, and let's say there's 4 candidates who are all uniquely cute in their own ways, and they're all running in this constituency. Now, if one of the candidates, maybe the far right one, wins 51% of the vote in round 1, then the vote is over, okay? It doesn't matter what everyone else got. If you have 51%, then in round 1, they just call it. This happened in not many constituencies in France. Of the ones where it did win in round 1, 32 of them, the most, went to Le Pen. Le Pen was winning a lot of places after round 1. If, let's say, nobody has 51%. Slime's got 37, Ludwig's got 29, Nick's got 23, Aiden has 11. I made Aiden the loser in all these for some reason. Let's say nobody has a 51% majority. Well, in that case, you go to round 2 and they drop out anybody who did really badly. I think it's below 12.5%. This is what happened in almost every constituency in France. I'm talking about like 500 plus of the constituencies. Nobody had a clear majority, right? So they drop out Aiden, and Aiden's votes go to everyone else. So now Slime has even more of a clear lead because Aiden and Slime were both far right. So now we're in round 2. This is what was unique about this election, okay? Is that fearing the domination by the far right, Le Pen's party, or the Slime party, if you call it. These two parties, even though they don't even really agree on that much, Macron, the centrists, and the New Popular Front, the far left, they agreed to drop out of each other's races. Anywhere they were the third place position, they dropped out. So for example, in this one, the third place would drop out to create like a wall against this party. And so that is what happened. That happened in like hundreds, 200 plus, 300 plus, I think it was 280 constituencies in France, which led to, surprisingly, this party, which had been polling really well, losing a lot of seats. Let me give you a real world example, okay? This is round 1 voting. It looks like the National Rally, Le Pen's party, is dominating. They are ahead in almost every constituency in the first round. They had the lead in the vast majority, right? But then after this strategy of dropping out the third place and everyone else and having everyone else team up basically to stop, this is what happened in the actual round 2. This is who actually won the vote. So it was a good tactic and it worked. It led to Le Pen not getting the majority that she was projected to get. Okay, they got a third place instead of what they were predicted was the first. Here is the actual results. New Popular Front got 182 seats. The new leader, Macron's party, didn't do as badly as thought. They got 168, and then National Rally still grew, but not as much as thought, with 143. Now here's the problem. There's a lot of celebrations. Oh, this is a great win. Wow, we really stopped them. We stopped Le Pen. Here's the truth. Because none of these parties, first of all, even really get along. These guys teamed up for this fight, but they don't really get along. None of these parties has a majority. So now it is a 3-way split between 3 parties that don't like each other and can't get along and cannot come to a decision. That's the first part. The second part is that you need 289 seats for a majority. So now a large portion of some of these people have to team up to get anything done. A very likely deadlock, gridlock, polarized country. But because they've held back Le Pen this one time, Le Pen no longer will be held liable for doing anything. So from now until 2027, my estimation is that France is going to be a gridlock country that solves none of its problems. And Le Pen won't even be blamed. And Le Pen got a massive lead in the popular vote. They got the smallest seats of the three, but they had the most votes. And if you're someone who's mad about the Electoral College in America, you should probably see this, people getting frustrated at this. In my mind, Le Pen got the perfect result. They get to say, the populace wants us, we got tricked out of power, and they don't get blamed for anything that happens. For me, this is like the worst possible result for the future of France, because now Le Pen gets to sit around, take no blame, have all of the popular vote, and then get stronger for the next election. The only way this gets solved is if a coalition forms between these two parties that actually governs. If they actually govern and make some changes, maybe they tax the rich, maybe they get things like, if things happen and France improves, that would be great. That's the best result. But I am not confident that this polarized country with no clear majority, with Macron not getting along with the left party, I don't think this is gonna happen. We're gonna have a situation we've never known before with the absence of a stable, coherent, homogenous majority. This is like not happened in France. And I don't think that these parties are getting along. I mean, again, this party right here, the left-wing party, is a coalition of vastly different parties that barely got together. There's like a huge variety of opinions in this party. They can't get along by themselves. They haven't even elected a leader. There's not even a leader of this party. My estimation, I think France between now and 2027 is gonna have a bad time. They're gonna govern slowly and contentiously, and they're gonna fight a lot. Nothing's gonna get changed. There's not gonna be any real progress. It's not gonna be better. And then people are gonna get more mad. And then in 2027, it's gonna be even more of a sweep for RN. That's what I think is gonna happen. And if it doesn't happen, I'll be happy. But I'm telling you what I think is gonna happen, because that's what I'm trying to do with this show. Sounds like the Ensemble government. Well, Ensemble has a decent amount of power, because if you look, these two parties will never get along. They just won't agree on anything, right? And neither of them has a majority for anything. So everybody kind of needs Macron. They need Ensemble to get anything done. He has more power than you would estimate when this election started. It kind of worked out for him. But the problem is the popular vote is what it is, bro. These people that wanted to see these people in power didn't get it, are now more frustrated, and unless things change for the better, they're gonna get more votes. 37% isn't popular, bro, but look at the votes for the other two parties. The party that got the most seats got 26%. The party that got the least seats of the three had more. What do you want me to say, bro? I think this is what's gonna happen. Yeah, I don't wanna be a downer here, but I don't see a good couple years for France with this gridlock, terrible system. If one of these parties, one of these two, had an absolute majority, things could happen, change could happen. I think no change will happen. People are gonna get more frustrated. If they were gonna beat the RN, they had to beat them harder, because this is too gridlock. But we'll see. If they manage to work together, it would be really great if there's like a good centrist alliance like this that gets things done. I feel unconfident by everything I've read from actual French publications and French people. I think this is a bad result. There's people that disagree in chat. I think they're wrong, but we'll see. We'll watch the next couple of years of France and see if they have this miracle alliance that works together well and governs and makes progress. But I don't think it'll happen. Maybe they'll do a Frexit. Well, this party, Le Pen's party, they don't talk about it anymore, but they did want a Frexit. They used to want a Frexit. They've been quiet on it, but they used to talk about getting out of the EU. Anyway, that's the update. I know it would be more fun to be like this and celebrate and like, this is super good. But honestly, the more I look at it, I think this is like a pretty weak result that is gonna be bad for France. I don't think this is gonna go well. I think this is gonna go really badly, just a few years delayed. But we'll see. We'll see, man. I would love to be proven wrong. Is 90% tax true? Yeah, so the New Popular Front did propose a 90% wealth tax, or a tax on the top. Forgot what level of earnings it was. But again, without a majority, this won't pass. It won't happen. But that just literally won't happen. So I don't even want to like get interested or excited about it. They will not get that passed. And so that's why I'm saying this election is just nothing crazy is going to happen, because nobody can get anything radical or any change passed, which is going to make the average Frenchman more mad. And they're already so mad. Would you have any fears about a tax that high actually causing the rich to just leave? Bro, they're already trying to do that. I was reading a great article about rich French people who are like already trying to hide their assets offshore even before the election, because they were worried about anything happening. They're trying to hide their money in Italy. But you know what? Fuck them, bro. You want access to the French consumer, pay a French tax. I am never scared of the, oh, rich people will just leave. If you have a country with a lot of prosperity and people in it, the money is there. Countries with high taxes had a lot of prosperity and riches before. I'm French and I can say too psyoped by mainstream media. Explain. What are we psyoped about? Osby, what are we psyoped about? Explain. Because I read a lot of French sources for this, so I don't know that it was a mainstream media psyop, bro. But I would love to know. You're acting like the policies are, the thing is, let me tell you this. To show the average person that this is the right choice, which I agree is overall the right choice, they have to work. It has to govern. You can't just keep talking about how terrible this party is and then things still get worse for the average person in France. The fact that it's going to be more gridlocked than it was before, which it already was gridlocked, if it doesn't get better, then they will continue to turn for a more egregious party. And so the fact that nobody got even close to majority and everything is going to require incredible coalition building, which France has not shown a willingness to do on anything serious. Why would RN winning be so bad? I mean, the party has Nazi ties and is generally one of the parties that exists around the world that blames everything on immigration. There's this rising tide of parties that has realized that if you just say everything is the fault of immigrants, that will fix everything. If we just change that, it'll solve all of our problems. Don't worry about rich people milking us dry. Don't worry about the government deficits. Don't worry about anything. If we just get rid of immigrants, everything's good. That is like the key of that party. But the thing is, that is an appealing thing for people to hear when shit sucks. Historically, that's always worked in history. Parties like that start going when things are bad. And so the only counter to that is for things to get better. And I don't think things will get better in 3 years with a gridlocked parliament. As a Canadian, sure, the Conservatives are the sexy options where our economy doesn't. It's not gonna. Yeah, that's the thing. If neither party will fix the problem, then eventually the party you don't like will get in power. You can't say this party's the devil, this party's terrible, you can't trust them, and then get the reins and then not fix the problems. If you don't do that, if you don't make things better, then they will try the other people. And that's what's gonna happen in France. That's what I'm thinking is gonna happen in France. What can France do to prevent war? I think they have to make progress for the people of France. Things have to get better. That's already difficult for every country on earth, but it's extra difficult if you have a gridlocked parliament. That is why I am downer on it. I am not confident that they will make any material changes. Maybe Macron gets out there and scoops poop out of the river. Maybe if Macron gets out there with a strainer and cleans the river, then we'll see that he's the pooper scooper.